Welcome to the Hoop Post Talk Show with your
Thank
host.
you.
And today, our guest is Shay Ijiwoye, a 5 foot guard from the class of 2024 out of Desert Vista High School in Phoenix, Arizona. And she has signed a national letter of intent to play at Stanford next season. Welcome to the show, Shay, and congratulations on your commitment to Stanford. And we'll discuss that coming up. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. My team, we had media day this morning and a good practice. So, started the day off strong, and now we got a team bonding tonight. So, all good things over here.
Wonderful. And we're gonna get into it now. First,
Good.
what got you involved into basketball, and where did you start learning how to play the game?
Honestly, I think it was like fourth grade, I want to say, like fourth grade, end of fourth grade, going to fifth grade. One of my friends from school wanted to play at the YMCA, and then my brother was also wanting to play too. So that's kind of how I started playing. And like I wanted to play with my friend originally, but she did recreational and I did competitive. So I played with my brother's team. So I was playing with the fifth and sixth grade boys. And the first week we lost every game. Like we were bad. I cried after every game. It was awful. And then eventually I got introduced to like club and stuff. And then I was playing with the boys fifth grade fifth grade summer. And then sixth grade is when I switched over to girls. And that's when I started to like really like kind of lock in on basketball.
I want to get to that in a second here, but
Mm.
tell us about your style of game for those who are not familiar with you.
I mean, I would just say like I'm just a really elite point guard. I think above all else, like I love making my teammates look good, and setting them up and just making plays, and then obviously controlling the floor, and the tempo and stuff. So I would say obviously that I can get to the basket pretty well. I take a lot of pride on the defensive end. I hustle plays, charges, all that. And then most importantly, I like to have fun. Like whatever team I'm on, I feel like people always had a bunch of fun. And usually when you're having fun and playing with people you love, that leads to winning. So yeah.
Now you just mentioned about talk about being on an all boys team. What
Mhm.
like and how did it benefit you?
Honestly, it was very interesting because I played on I was the post. I was the biggest one, tallest on the team at the time. So I was in the post, like battling, rebounding. All my points came from like layups and free throws. So it definitely helped my like aggression and like just my ability to play physical because you can't just be down there getting knocked around by the boys. So I had to stand my ground. So transitioning to the girls game, that helped a ton because I had like the post skills kind of so then once I started adding the handles and all that and the shooting, it just kind of came together. So now I can rebound pretty well for my size, and just be physical. So
Now, what did you see the differences and the similarities going up against the boys and the girls?
honestly, like with boys, obviously it's just much more physical. You're allowed to get away with a little bit more. So when I switched over, if some people may think I'm a hack just because like, you just have to play a little more physical with the boys. So I think that's the biggest thing. And obviously they're bigger, faster, stronger. So you really have to be playing at a high level and just kind of bring your A game all the time. So but honestly, like because when I switched over, I played when I was in sixth grade, started playing girls, obviously. And I played 15U, and then seventh grade I moved up to 17U. So like obviously those girls were obviously bigger, faster, stronger than me and my age group. So it just kind of prepared me for that level, and it was pretty similar, honestly.
And you got involved with the AAU seven. This was the AAU team, 17 under. And talk about
Mhm.
what AAU team did you join?
So I started playing for AZ Elite, Arizona Elite. That's like my god sister, Kristen Inigwe. Her mom basically said like take Shay there and leave her there. So sixth grade year joined, and it was super great, a great situation for like 4 or 5 years that I was there. And they believed in me a whole bunch, and I'll forever be grateful for that. But they put me on the 17U when I was only 12 at the time. So I was like, are you guys sure you're making, out there like just trust. So um middle school, I played my middle school, I played with the eighth graders. And then when summer came around, seventh grade summer going into eighth grade, that's when I got invited to like Adidas All American. You're playing on the Adidas Gold Circuit. And it was just great. It was a great like learning experience like that young. And then the role that I had on that team was just it was really big. And I feel like it's really led me to be where I am today, you know, taking on such like a huge leadership role. So I was kind of, you know, I think adapted that and all my teams after that one. So
Talk about any what stars did you play against or play with on those teams? Can you
Mhm.
that stands out today?
Yeah, actually, so I was on the gold team, or I was on the white, Azalea white team. So it was a white and gold, and then a black. The black was the top team, and the Cabinet twins they were on that team. Obviously, you know they just finished up playing at Miami, and then Ali Zalai, she's at UNC, and then this Ali Stedman also at Miami. So it's just like it was a really big. They were really good. It was really fun playing against them, and a couple other girls at other D1s, and then when I went to the Adidas camp, I played against Layla Filia. She's at Michigan now. Talia Van Olfen at Oregon State. Meg Newman at Alabama. Alyssa Crockett at Michigan. I mean, it's like seeing where the girls are now, like how they're in their, you know, sophomore, junior years of college, and I'm, you know, about to finish high school. It's just crazy to see how much they've grown and how great they all are now. It's just knowing I played against such, you know, great talent is it's awesome.
And you got to enroll at Desert Vista, and you're going into your last year. You've been there for
Mhm.
now. What made you want to go to Desert Vista?
I mean, honestly, it was just the school I was, you know, zoned for. But going into my freshman year, obviously before COVID and all that, the Coach Patch, he was my trainer, and I've known him since like sixth grade as well too, and he's really been a huge part of my process. So I knew that if I went there, like yeah, I could trust him. And all my friends were there, all my like club teammates were all going to Vista as well too. And academically, it's just you know impeccable. So that's pretty huge for me, obviously.
Wonderful. And now you play at Desert Vista. You talk about the team you had last season. You guys went 28. Just talk about that team before.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's weird, like our situation. A lot of people were like, if you guys don't win, like it was a bust, you know, win or bust. But then also people were like, obviously hoping we would lose and we weren't good enough. So it was like having to prove ourselves, but also too, like it's like being hunted, but also hunting, you know. So and we were all super young. I mean, like our core, our starting five, I mean, the oldest one was, you know, me and my teammate E. We're both juniors. The rest were sophomore and freshmen. So, you know, like we were a young squad, but we played so hard together, and just the all 14 of us actually, like we love each other so much. I think that was like a really big part about not only like the Desert Vista culture, but just that team last year is how much love we have for one another. It made playing easy, it made showing up to practice and giving it all super easy and celebrating one another easy. And I mean, we did a lot of great things, you know, obviously winning the inaugural Open Division state championship for Arizona and then competing at nationals on ESPN. And then, you know, being ranked, like I think our highest ranking was like 12 or something in the country. So, I mean, just to be at a school from Arizona, I mean, that's huge because Arizona doesn't get a lot of respect. So, just to be able to put on was really nice.
Yes, well, your team went 28-3, winning the state championship. They had you ranked 18th
Mm-hmm.
standing, a 28-3 record. You played a key role. You shot 73% from the field, averaging 13.3 points per game. You talk about a team with talent. You talk about you're the hunted. You talk
Mm-hmm.
about all these players, the expectations are so high from last year, and you were able to achieve it. But it's I always learned something too, and people always just having conversations with all the best talented. You're not guaranteed to win any championships.
Facts. Yeah.
I want you to tell us, Shay, um, talk about the components of your team reaching that milestone. And what was the mindset besides the talent? How did the team come together? Just share that behind the scenes of what it takes to win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we set our goals early. In summertime, we already knew like what the move was, and that every game, every practice, like whether we're 6 months out from the championship, 2 weeks out, whatever it is, we have to have that mindset of like, you know, this is what we want to do. So, and we knew it was gonna take sacrifice, and a lot of, you know, just you know grind and we had it, you know, we I think it was easy, like I said, because we how much love we have for one another to like hold each other accountable and like knowing that it's for the ultimate goal we have set out for us. So I think that's a huge thing. It's just that mindset. And for us, it was really win or nothing. Like there was no like other option. And then yeah, I mean, I think just individually, like we all knew we had to get our own jobs done and like find our role and roll with it. And I think that's exactly what we did.
Thank you for that, Shay. Now we move forward. On November 8th, this past Wednesday, 2023, you signed the national letter of intent to Stanford. Out of
Mhm.
45 offers, which includes Yale, Columbia, Harvard, Penn State, Princeton, great academic institutions, Villanova, Michigan, Cal, North Carolina, and other Division One schools. Why Stanford?
I think the one of the biggest things was just like I'm the obviously the academics. You know, you can't pass up like a world class degree. You know, everyone around the world wants to come to Stanford. You know, like it's like a 4% acceptance rate. You know, so that's huge. And then also too, like the basketball coach Tara, like she's won, you know, a lot, and I want to win. I like winning, so you know, just to be able to learn from her, and I want to be a coach when I'm done. So, you know, why not, you know, learn from one of the greatest coaches in the game. And then it's closer to home, you know, than the other Ivy League schools, you know, and then the people you'll meet like at Stanford, like in the classrooms, you know, bumping shoulders with the president or the like the future president or some CEO of a business, like all the things. And then the girls, like I know like they all want that combination of basketball and athletic or academics. So I know I'm surrounded with like-minded people that are going to push me on and off the court and understand like, you know, what I want. And yeah, I mean, it's just a situation all around.
Yes, and tell us about you making the visits there. Talk about the visits. And now after and just what you planning on majoring in.
Yeah, I mean, I visited quite a bit. I went out right when COVID, like when we were allowed to get back out in June of 2021. That was the first time I was out there. No one was there, obviously, because California was a bit more shut down than like Arizona. And then I think I was back out there in February for their senior night against UCLA. And then obviously took my official in June. So I'm out there a good amount of times, you know, just seeing campus and hanging out with the people. So just like that familiarity aspect was there. What I want to major in, that's the thing, you know, that's like kind of where I go back and forth. Like I've always been super intrigued into like the medical field. Maybe it's because of Grey's Anatomy or my parents. I don't really know, but you know, so combining that with just, you know, being an athlete, I've always loved exercise science. So maybe something, you know, kinesiology or, but recently, you know, I've been like entertaining the broadcasting and journalism kind of side, I guess. So maybe I'll do a minor in that. And I was kind of dabbling a little bit with law too. So, you know, my goal really is just going in like, especially that summer, just figuring out, like doing all the classes, figuring out what really floats my boat. So
Yeah, I wish you all the best there at
thank you.
Yes. And got a lot of variety of goals. You still trying to understand where to figure out where to go. But
Mhm.
once you get there, and it's great, you have an ambition and to get into coaching,
Yeah.
giving, which is another great. If, you know, just after your college career, you playing ball. If you don't play pro, you always have other fields to go into.
Mhm.
You,
Yeah.
there's coaching, there's trainers, there's a whole lot of avenues.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
would be that's interesting right there. You have definitely with you getting going playing and knowing the background, knowing the game. That's a great opportunity.
For sure.
Yes. And I just want to talk about this upcoming season at Desert Vista. I know you're going through some changes,
Mhm.
which as always, coming back as the defending state champions. And we talk about the mindset of last season. Talk about the mindset on how the team is going to repeat as state champions.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we're talking about it. Our motto for this year is just us. You know, the 12 girls in the circle and our couple coaches, like that's like all that really matters, you know. At the end of the day, we got to believe in one another. And no one's gonna understand the work and whatever it takes to get there. Even like, of course, like our parents, you know, try, but we're the ones running and going up and down and watching the film and doing the scouts, like all that. So that's really been like our thing, just focusing on the people in the circle. Because it's hard, you know, you have people that are supporting you, people that are doubting you, and obviously our team looks a little bit different this year, losing two huge pieces, and then, but you know, we got two new pieces or three new pieces actually. So, you know, obviously there's a lot of change, new coaching staff as well. But I'm really excited. You know, energies have been great in practice. You know, we're getting after it. You know, I really love like just like the overall aura of the year. Just like the way we're starting off, like we've always had like our core being like just loving one another. But I think there's a new like I don't know, rejuvenated, a fresh wind this year. So I'm just really excited about that.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And now, before school started over this past summer, you were
Mm.
one of two Arizona high school players invited to play in New York. And I'm a New Yorker, and I have to ask this because experience one of my favorite places, one of the few, Rucker Park you played in,
Mm.
a
Yeah.
famous playground. In the Culture Blacktop Battle Girls tournament, you were selected to play for JC Kids under 17 AAU's team and
Mm.
was nicknamed the Point Goddess.
Yeah.
Now, did they who gave you the nickname? Was it Darren Rucker or somewhere else?
Yeah, I was at Rucker. The guy, the commentator was like, you know, either you leave with a nickname or, you know, you don't come out, you don't perform and I'll let you know. I was like, I'm definitely not, you know, he not gonna, you know, call me out on, you know, me not performing. So I just kind of went in there. Obviously just, you know, I wanted to play and have fun with my teammates one last time, but it's always nice to come out with a nickname. So
Yes, if you don't bring your game, you will be called out.
yep. I was trying to avoid that as much as possible.
Yes, and I know could be another story with New York City basketball. I grew up in Queens, New York, the Madison Square Garden, the home of the Knicks, the Rucker Playground, and another couple of facilities grew up in the basketball game. And it was a blessing to play there. Talk about that experience. Besides you getting the nickname, just talk about playing there. How was the crowd?
Yeah, no, it was crazy because you know we're warming up, and you know playing outside is different, you know, and so it's just like getting used to that originally, but seeing the people walk by and then come back and then come in, like I think that was just so cool, and you know it's just a different experience than like obviously what I'm used to, and no, it was just great energy, like great vibes, just all around. So it's definitely an experience for a lifetime.
Yes, and it's really a different atmosphere than here in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes, and let me ask you this, and who was the other player from Arizona to represent?
It was Sage Henry from Perry High School.
Perry and Gilbert, Sage Henry.
Mhm. Yeah.
And she was another star player there too, another star player from Arizona.
Yes, sir.
Going to be competing against each other this year.
Yeah. It's different now that we've played on the same team. You know, we've obviously worked out outside of practice together. So, you know, definitely it'll be fun competing against her though.
Yes, looking forward to that season. Now, not only you have excelled on the court, but you have excelled in the classroom.
Mm.
What are your study habits, and how is you able to manage your time studying, playing basketball? I'm sure doing other extracurricular activities.
Mm.
I want you to share that, and please give advice to the other student athletes who are watching this.
Yeah. Honestly, it was hard, you know. I mean, I think, but also too, like my parents, the way I was kind of always been brought up is, you know, school comes first. So I've always, you know, made it a habit to try to get my work done like at school or in the class so that when I come home, I can do my after school nap or go to the gym or whatever that looks like. So as you know, obviously getting into high school, it's a little different. But you know, the same thing, you know, just get your work done and get it done early. Um, and you know, if you're going to be gone, you know, make up the work ahead of time, communicate with teachers. That's so huge. My teachers know, like I've missed like a good amount of school, just you know, with basketball and other things and stuff. So my teachers all know, and they're super um, easy to work with for the most part, and just they understand. So think that's huge, just communicating with the people, and then don't be afraid to go see a tutor. Like I'm in this AP Calc BC class, and it's a little hard, so I got to go in a little bit, see my teacher, especially when you miss days. It doesn't hurt to have them reteach the lesson. So I think that's the huge thing. But I think for me, more specifically, is like I know, like with my faith in God, like if He's at the top and He's the priority, everything else has to fall in place, and it makes it so easy. I notice that when I feel like I'm drowning or whatever, there's so much going on. It's usually when I'm not, reading my Bible, I'm not praying. So I think like above all else, like definitely keeping God at the center of your life. So prioritizing time with Him in the morning and like, reading a chapter from the Bible, and then, praying and meditating on the word throughout the day. And then you'll just watch and see how your life kind of just, straightens out itself.
Wow, and I'm just really amazed with that, how you put the Lord first
Got
before,
to,
and
got
just
to.
and just share us a little bit about your devotion to the Lord, and just know that your family's involved into the church, and just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the church. I went to a Catholic school in second grade, and I always claimed the title of, oh yeah, like I believe in God, but it wasn't till COVID, when COVID hit, that I really started like actually open my Bible and actually read and know God for myself, and why He sent His Son to die for us, and just kind of really embrace the grace that He's given us ever so freely. So I think allowing the Holy Spirit to come into my life and lead me and guide me has been huge. And I've just continually grown in my faith since then. And just seeing how the Lord's blessed me, obviously with these accolades and stuff, but just with the people in my life, my family above all else. And He's blessed me with a bunch of other sisters in Christ and brothers in Christ. So, we're not meant to do this life alone. So, a Christian community is great to have. And ultimately my life purpose is to spread the love of God, and just be, a vessel for the kingdom. And, I know earth is not my home, and that, I'm going to be called home to heaven when it's all said and done for eternity. So just making sure that, I'm just, being a vessel at the end of the day. So, of
Now, that is so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Definitely that's inspirational right there, Shay.
course. Yeah.
Yes. And just talk about, how did you become a leader on and off the court? How did you build those leadership skills? Because not many people in life have that, and just
Mhm.
share that with us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, going back to like seventh grade, I was always a lead by example, kind of like I would always go hard in the drills or, whatever it is, but I wasn't a vocal leader. Coach Brian Porth, actually, he's the one that really challenged me the most to like be vocal on the court. So like my freshman, sophomore year of high school and summer, we are like really just about being more vocal. So talking on defense from the point guard position, getting people in spots. And then just that like role is, just can continue to grow. And I think also too, like, um the Lord has blessed me with that as well. Like as I've grown more and secure in Him, I feel like He's just allowed me to kind of grow into that servant leadership position. Like I think people, well, the way I lead by serving, and helping the people around me. So I think that's like the biggest thing is pouring into others, and like building a relationship with the people around you, whoever you're leading. It's hard to lead someone when you don't know anything about them, what makes them tick, or what, why you're playing this game, or why you guys are taking this class together, whatever it is. So just, I think that's like been huge. It's just getting to know the people around you, and being secure in who you are, to lead other people.
Amen to that. That is wonderful. And let me ask you this. You know that you love the game. You want to be a coach. I
Mhm.
have all these categories. Just talk about, what is your purpose in life, and what are you feel that you're called to do.
I mean, like I said, above all else, like, we're called to make disciples of all nations, in the gospel. So just spreading the love of Christ and spreading the gospel and the good news, to everyone. I think that's the biggest thing, and just being Jesus with skin on here on this earth. I think that's like, the biggest thing. So I feel like coaching, it really allows me to do so, just because the relationship I built with coaches on the phone, and like type of conversations we're having. I'm like, I could definitely, have conversations like this with the younger generation. Um, And I feel like that's a great way, just talking to a bunch of people. The basketball world is so big yet so small at the same time. So a lot of people you can impact that way. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously that's what I feel like the Lord's kind of called me to do, but at the same time, it could be anything else. So, maybe I'll be a youth pastor or whatever it is. So, I think that's the biggest thing is just trusting in the Lord, and I know that He'll guide my steps. Yeah, and just growing into the woman He's called me to be.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. And the last question.
Mm.
So who do you want to give thanks to where you are today as a student athlete?
I think the biggest thing, but definitely my parents, like the way they've raised me and my brothers. They've taught me everything basically I know, and taught me how to, approach people and have conversations and, just like how to live right. And, obviously they've led me to God and, God has obviously transformed my life. So I'm thankful, obviously, to the man above for everything, um, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, because it's led me to be where I'm at today. So,
Well, thank you for all that.
yeah.
And Shay, I want to tell you, I am blessed and humble to have you on our show today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I will be coming to a couple of games this season.
Got to.
I'm going to be checking you out.
Yes. Hey, November 28th at Desert Vista High School, 7 p.m. Xavier. It's a good game to come to.
Definitely. I'll try and come. I'll,
Bet.
yes, but then you've got a couple of good tournaments coming up. Hoop Hall,
Mhm.
and then you
Yeah.
have the Tournament of Champions.
Hmm.
So you got
Yes,
a
sir.
tournament. So definitely, if you guys are out there in Arizona, live out in the East Valley or somewhere in the Phoenix metro area, come check out the Desert Vista girls basketball team. You
Yes,
could
sir.
you could go online and Google it. You'll get a schedule and definitely come support Shay and the rest of the Desert Vista basketball girl squad.
Yes, sir.
So we want to say thank you for your time and God bless you. Thank you for tuning in to the Hoop Post Talk Show. We will see you next time.
Yeah.
Take
Bye.